இன்றைய இந்த பிற்பகல் நிகழ்வு சற்று முன் பின்னான மாற்றத்தை பெறுகிறது. இந்த நிகழ்வுக்கு பிறகு ஒரு அமர்வும் எழுத்தாளர் பெருமாள் முருகனின் ஏற்புரையும் நிகழும். நம்முடைய இந்திய திருநாட்டில் மிக பெரும் மாநிலங்களில் ஒன்றான மேற்கு வங்கத்தின் ஆளுநராக திகழ்ந்த பெருமை ஒருபுறம், மகாத்மா காந்தியடிகளின் மரபின் தோன்றலான ஒரு பெருமித இடம் இன்னொரு புறம். மாபெரும் கல்வியாளர், அறிவாளுமை, இலக்கிய ஆளுமை என பன்முகம் கொண்ட பெருமகனார் நம்முடைய அன்புக்கும் மதிப்பிற்கும் போற்றுவதற்கும் உரிய ஐயா கோபாலகிருஷ்ண காந்தி அவர்கள். காலையிலேயே மாணவ செல்வங்கள் உணர்ந்திருப்பீர்கள், மாணவர்களுள் ஒரு மாணவராக, அதாவது எளிமை இன்றைக்கு அருகி போய்விட்டது. எளிமைப்பாடும் அருமைப்பாடும் கொண்ட ஒரு மகத்தான ஆளுமை நம்மிடையே வாழ்ந்து நம்மை எல்லாம் வழிநடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறார் என்றால் ஐயா கோபாலகிருஷ்ண காந்தி அவர்கள். அப்படிப்பட்ட மாபெரும் ஆளுமை இன்றைய இந்த பன்னாட்டு கருத்தரங்கத்தில் நிறைவை ஒட்டிய ஒரு உரையை இப்பொழுது உங்களோடு பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள இருக்கிறார்கள். சென்னை பல்கலைக்கழக தமிழ் மொழித்துறை இந்த மகத்தான ஆளுமையை, அவர்கள் திருக்குறள் மொழிபெயர்ப்பு உள்ளிட்ட பல முயற்சிகளை மேற்கொண்ட பெருந்தகை அவர்களை வணங்கி வரவேற்று உரையாற்ற அழைப்பதில் பெருமிதம் கொள்கிறது.
பெரியவர்களே, நண்பர்களே, மாதுருவாகன் எழுதுவர் எதிரே அவர் மேடையில் இருக்கும் போது, நானும் அதே மேடையில் இருக்கும் போது உண்மைதான் பேசணும். உண்மை தவிர வேற ஒன்றும் பேசக்கூடாது. என்ன உண்மை? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல், பெருமாள் முருகனுடைய எழுத்துன்னு நான் இங்கிலீஷ் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷனில் தான் படிச்சிருக்கேன். தட்ஸ் எ கன்ஃபெஷன். ரெண்டாவது உண்மை, எனக்கு பூனைனா பிடிக்காது, நாய்னா ரொம்ப பயம். பூனைனா 3 தடவை நாயாக எனக்கு கடிச்சிருக்கு. நாய் 3 தடவை எனக்கு கடிச்சிருக்கு. நாய்தான் ரொம்ப. நாய், பூனை, பெருமாள் முருகனுடைய கதையிலே they are very important. They are as important as the human beings, sometimes even more important. Third confession. When the head of the department of Tamil in the university invited me, I knew I was not deserving of the invitation, and yet I accepted it. Yeah. Because it gave me a chance to pay my tribute to not only one of the greatest writers in Tamil today, but one of the greatest writers as such today anywhere. We have just had a stimulating session with Sangeeta Kalanidhi, T.M. Krishna and Kuruvar. I have no specialization, but I am here as a reader of Murugan sir's writings in translation, and as somebody who has a little passing interest in the structure of the English language, and therefore in the structure of the Tamil language. Love of language is about love, not about language. That is very important. nobody who loves a language should think that that language is the greatest or the best or the oldest. Every language is extraordinary. But every language has something unique about it. I want to speak about one device in the Tamil language. Murugan sir and the device I use pandradilla. And the device I use pandradilla. And the device of the spirit of the literature nariya nama paakala. What is that device? Murugan sir does not say this is right, this is wrong. He just suggests it. He just hints at it. இதுதான் உண்மை, அது தப்பு அவர் சொல்றது. உண்மையை அவர் காட்டுகிறார். அந்த உண்மையை நாம் பார்த்து we have to come to our own conclusions. Madhurbagan, of course, is the ultimate in that. But every story of it is about that. What is the device I am talking about? Tamil has this uniqueness. O and A. What is O and A? It's a device. I'll explain. Number Yaro, ivar yaro. It has no basis in English grammar. What is yaro, ivar yaro, enna pero? It's entirely in Tamil that you have it. It is a wonderment, a puzzlement. It is something which doesn't say who question mark, who is he question mark, what is the name? No, it's a kind of wonderment. Murugan says knowledge of English grammar is not the point. His knowledge of Tamil grammar is not the point. But he asks questions for which the question is more important than the answer. Questioning is more important than answering. The puzzlement and the wonder in that O and in that A. I just come to A. Yaro, ivar yaro. When M.S. Amma sang that song, and I heard it first, Yaro, ivar, I thought it was Sita asking that about Rama, but actually it is not. It is the other way around. It is Rama asking about Sita. So the two, Sita and Rama, have fluxed in that. Murugan says stories are about the fluctuations of human and non-human life, of rural and urban life, of man and woman. It's only in Tamil that you have this. Oh, yeah. And then, எப்போ வருவாரோ, அது ஒரு கேள்வியா இல்லை, அது ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்டா இல்லை. யாரோ இவர் யாரோ எப்போ வருவாரோ is a speculation. The verb has been conjugated in a way as to become not a question, but just a wonderment. Murugan says stories are about that. I'll give you these two examples. I'll give you another example. Sangeet Krishna has sung beautifully. Varugalamo ayya, Varugalamo says so much, much more than Varalama. Varugalamo. His stories are like that. He ponders the question. Pannalamo, Seyalamo, Irkumo. In fact, இங்கே இன்னைக்கு நான் அழைக்கும் போது அவர் ஒரு இமெயில் ஒரு டெக்ஸ்ட் மெசேஜ் அனுப்புறாங்க. நீங்கள் வந்து எந்த டைமில் வர திட்டம் அவர் கேட்டுக்கலாம். எந்த டைமில் வர உங்கள் வர திட்டமோ கம்ப்ளீட்லி சேஞ்ச் the whole thing. And then we are talking of high literature. We are talking of Gopalkrishna Bharati, Raghulama, Nandana, Poovarasum. And incidentally, Yaro has been sung beautifully by Vidushi Sangeeta Sangit. Vidushi Sangeeta Shivakumar has sung Yaro. Beautiful. But there is another song, it's not a high-end song. But what about Murugan sir's stories? Are they about high-end? They are about life as it really is. There is a lullaby, talat. I tell you, the genre of lullabies is not an ordinary genre. This song which goes, I've heard it in 2-3 versions, and when I first heard it, I was so gripped by it that I kept repeating it again and again, and then I thought it was not a song of high level, but it is so important. Araro, ariraro, araro, ariraro, araro, ariraro. That's a vaarthaya, that's a word, that's a sentence, that's a sound. It's a sound from the mother to the child. Araro, ariraro. Then I asked a friend, I said, araro, ariraro, artham. Artham kekkuradhu arthama. When a mother speaks to her child, the first sound that a child utters is ah, and then ma, then amma, araro, ariraro is the first sound of the child's mouth. And I have heard many versions of it. What is the connection of this with the Lord Murugan? I'll just tell you in a minute. Head of the department said, 20 minutes, 20 minutes get that I told. I'll just take a few more minutes. I've heard one version that says, Aro, Ariro, Arumayana, Korundayaro. That's one version. And another version, Mama Aditalo, Mami Aditalo, another So what does this mean? The mother is telling the child, you may well get beaten. The mother is anticipating the future life. Anna aditalo, akka aditalo, araro, ariraro. A lullaby is an anticipation of grief, an apprehension of loss. It is not a lullaby as much, it is a dirge, a song of infinite sadness. His stories are songs of infinite sadness. Almost since gender's flux, it could be written by a mother to a child, by a father to a son. And I must confess here, Madhura Bharata, ladies and gentlemen, and the Komali scene, Komali, it's the most important, most powerful scene. The crowd is not full. In the hall, the crowd kuda and the crowd there. Very few people. But look at the Komali. he has to perform, he has to keep the crowd going. And then he says, Anand Mare, Appan Mare. What is that A? What is that? Oh, Madri, the A எங்கேருந்து வந்தது? அதில் அர்த்தம் இருக்கா? மறுபடியும் இந்த அர்த்தத்தோட அர்த்தம் கேட்காதீங்க சார். அண்ணன் மாறே, அப்பன் மாறே. And then clown சொல்றோம். Clown என்றால் கோமாளி. But கோமாளி is much more than a clown, much more than a clown. English translation is fantastic. ஹார்மோனியம் மேன் சொல்றாரு. முருகன் சாரோட வார்த்தை வந்து பெட்டிக்காரன். பெட்டிக்காரன் சொல்றாரு, என்னடா என்ன அண்ணன் மாறே அப்பன் மாறே, அண்ணனுக்கும் மக்களுக்கும் மாறுண்டா இருக்குது. அப்பன் மாறுண்டா, அப்பனுக்கு everything is mixed, everything is fluxed. And then he gives it back. The Komali cannot take it. He gives it back to the harmonium man. And he says, your father, your mother, your grandfather, your grandmother, all these swear words are given in one fluxing generation after generation, incrementally becoming worse and worse. Murugan Sir's characters are about life. His namakal is namakal. You can feel the texture of the red soil, the hardness of the rock, the dryness of the air, the absence of water. Just end by saying, we have spent the greater part of the day listening to so many speakers talk about different aspects of his life. But do we know, do we realize, do we understand the fire through which he has walked? Likewise, the fire through which T.M. Krishna has walked. Ostracism இந்த வார்த்தை தமிழில் என்ன தெரியாது எனக்கு. Exclusion, ostracism, I don't know what Tamil words are for them. But they have walked through that fire and they have emerged from it with their soul intact. I'll now conclude, Mr. President Sir, by saying that this gathering today is about not allowing intolerance in the arts, not allowing hatred and venom in our society, not seeing life in black and white, because life is not black and white. Friends, ambiguity. I just looked up in Meta, artificial intelligence. Ambiguity in Tamil என்ன சொல்றது? I didn't know. It said ambiguity is தெளிவின்மை. It's a good description. Good description. Murugan Sir's stories are about life, and life is about தெளிவின்மை. தெளிவா எல்லாம் தெளிவே இல்லை. And then I want to see there is a kind of search without a destination. The search itself is a destination. Murugan sir tells us what life is as it is. And it is not pretty. It is not pretty. It is up to us to make it less hideous. It is up to us to root out intolerance in our minds. Is he speaking about a particular community? No. Everything is in the flux. Everything is undecided. Nothing is certain. You have to respect every moment. And since there are as many men and women as women and men in this camp, I'll just say this. The most outstanding scene from his entire oeuvre is this. She has not been given a name. He is Murugesan. She is not given a name. She is archetypical. She conceives. Has she conceived? He wants her to conceive, but has she conceived? She thinks she has, because certain things have not happened. He is excited, he is delirious. So the baby is coming. And he says, "Are you afraid?" She says, No, I am not afraid. He's thrilled. And he comes and he says, "She is not afraid, so I will give her a shock." He just steals behind and says, "Ooh!" She gets a shock. She gets a shock. And how does it end? There are blood drops at his feet. Simple acts by us can have disastrous consequences. Simple acts, disastrous consequences. Care and safety. Love